As we said earlier in the conversation, to challenge assumptions, to question assumptions, and not to take things for granted, but to kind of live each moment afresh with a kind of a more creative, fluid perspective.
Right, and that's exactly right. And I think what you want to add to that is the sense that what the books, I think, help you to see is how thoroughly we're invested in certain assumptions that we don't ordinarily question at all.
Yeah. Can you name a couple, just for kicks, some of the more common and deep ones?
Sure. The one that we've already talked about a little bit is that the subject is the one who knows, that in any situation, the source of the knowledge is me, or is I, we really would have to say. And can you find ways to question that, to let knowledge be kind of pervasive? That would be one key thing to look at. And then we were just talking about the past, present, future structure, and we break experience down in terms of moments. That's how we think about things. There's one moment succeeds the next. There is an analysis in one of the TSK books which would remind some people of certain strands of Western philosophy, but also Buddhist thought, that says, it doesn't make sense. If you actually try to figure out how can one moment connect to the next, you need another moment between the two to connect them. So then you need a moment to connect those. You have an infinite regress. And so you say, well, that's just kind of a conceptual problem. But one of the points that comes up in TSK is to say, there's no such thing as just a conceptual problem. If you are living your life on the basis of a certain set of assumptions, and those assumptions don't make sense, you have to look and see, well, what if I tried to do it differently? So that assumption that time unfolds from moment to moment, from past to present to future, is another example. And then the assumption that we've talked about also, that space is what separates objects and is really nothing at all.
I'd say a really fundamental assumption that almost everyone labors under is that they are a separate, discrete, isolated unit. Right. that is not fundamentally connected with all other such units, and that that is encased within this physical frame, right. And that will. Some people believe otherwise, but it's not necessarily their experience, that will die when this physical frame dies, that will cease to exist.